有很多人在做简报的时候，希望能够解释每一张的 PowerPoint， 一张一张的说完，好像只是在陈述一件事情，非常的平淡。那你的重点，人家到底听到了吗？所以在这个单元，我们要提供给大家很有用的句型跟片语，让你轻松的帮助你的观众跟听众画出重点。Hello， 欢迎来到商业英语 Career Plus 的 Podcast。在这边，我们利用多年国际职场与教学经验，带给大家最真实与贴切的职场英语知识。Hi, I'm Sherry, founder of Executive Plus. As a language trainer and certified coach, I've trained hundreds of managers from Fortune 500 companies such as Dior, Google, and Deloitte & Touche.
And I'm Nick, Director of Communication Strategy at Presentality.I've helped startups raise millions of US dollars in funding and trained executives of publicly listed companies to present on the global stage. Hey everyone, and welcome to Career Plus Podcast episode 25. Now, the last episode, we kind of went deep through a lot of brain thinking, swirling, make you want to sleep maybe information. So today we're still going to talk about presentation, but we're going to talk about a key issue that we hear a lot and how to overcome it very simply, which is how do you call out information? A lot of times people have many ideas that they're presenting and it all just becomes a blur because they're not pulling out the key ideas and talking about them.
像上个礼拜我们讲到了这种基本的架构啊，你要该怎么样去构想或者是怎么样去准备你的简报。那我们这个礼拜我们在这一集我们想要着重的是在你怎么画出重点。因为其实我们上礼拜有讲到嘛，很多人会觉得我的 presentation 就是介绍我的 PowerPoint slide 一张一张的这样过去。那其实你的听众不一定都知道你现在在讲什么，或者不知道你现在的重点是什么。不要 assume 说他们都一定知道，80%的时间是他们有的时候是可能在想别的事情。
Yeah, that's true. I mean...Again, this may seem like it's very obvious. They should know what I'm talking about. But we talked about this last week too, is just don't assume that.
Yeah.
And so by using very specific phrases just to bring attention to your key idea or your key point is critical for keeping people on the same page and frankly paying attention, right?
Yep.
Someone might be staring on there playing Candy Crush on their phone or whatever, the latest game that came out. And then when they hear something like, I'd like to draw your attention, that's when they go,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
所以我们就是要给大家提示啦，就是你现在要听我讲话了，这是重点了。You know, you gotta give them a bit of those key words.For them to kind of look forward to, kind of guide them through the presentation. So today, 在今天这个 episode, 我们想要就是介绍这些如何把这个重点带出来。那我们有一些字，也有一些片语，一些方式想要介绍给大家。
All right, so what's the easiest way to do this? The thing that everyone should be able to do no matter what.So
something that you mentioned earlier, you know, the key phrase or the word that he used was to draw your attention, right? When you say something like that, I would like to draw your attention to 你的听众很容易就是OK 这个地方我要赶快来听了，这个是重点的部分。
Yeah, so just a simple verb plus noun phrase. Like, I'd like to draw your attention. Or a verb itself will be enough.I'd like to stress or emphasize this point or please pay close attention to this thing or focus on.
Absolutely. 所以这些很简单，每一个人我相信你都知道的一些重点的这种动词，其实很容易我们就把它带出来，就是 you know stress. I like to stress the following key points or I like to draw your attention, emphasize.Pay close attention to or focus 这些很容易的，你就让听众能够很快速的去集中他的注意力。So the second one that we want to talk about is the combination of adverb and also verb, right? So we're going to focus just on the adverb today.
Right. So with adverb is when you're really trying to highlight and make it sound amazing. You might be like, this is extremely crucial, or this is extremely critical, right?
所以其实这个部分我就发现蛮多正在学语言的人，或者就算你可能英文程度已经不错了，还是有蛮多人会去忽略这些副词。我们都知道这些副词在学校绝对都学过，只是我们在使用上面真的是有的时候没有这个习惯，所以请大家回去好好的就是在平常的 conversation 里面就可以把它用到，就是刚刚 Nick 所讲的 extremely, completely, totally, or absolutely.
Yeah, these kind of words always just make it sound even grander. Like, I completely agree with what you had to say, or you are completely wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. It just takes it to another level, right?
Yeah, or totally and absolutely, like we're absolutely in agreement. Or this is absolutely the worst idea I've ever heard.
Exactly. So, 第三个我们想要介绍给大家就是 using what in the very beginning of the sentence. 那其实觉得说为什么要 using what? 那我们现在讲的不是说问句的那个 what， 我们在讲的是 statement, like what we need to focus on is.
Or what is extremely important is.
Where what we should do is talk about, you know.
Right. So using what in this context really helps draw attention. You could actually play with where the same way. You'd be like, where you need to look is here. Or where we want to go is this place.
Okay. So we have two options here. So where 跟 what 用来作为这个句子的开始。Alright, so the next question, 这个就蛮有意思。那这个我觉得本身是觉得这个比较美式的文化 right? It's a more of an American cultural thing.
To ask questions that you don't want an answer to. And the simple one is how are you?
So like a rhetorical question, right? We talk about rhetorical questions. So the rhetorical, the word rhetorical, rhetorical question. So 就是不需要被回答的问题，这个问句。
Right. So asking a rhetorical question is more a situation where you want to highlight something and then your idea is the answer to that. So a simple rhetorical question might be something that's like, so just how important is this? And then go start explaining your data. If you ever watch a lot of TED Talks, they do this all the time, where rather than just going, and here's my conclusion, they'll ask questions that might already be in your brain as a way to take you along.
So for example, 我们上一集我们有讲到那个 problem solution 那个 framework. So let's say 我们已经讲到一个 problem. So this is a problem we're facing, right? So can we just go like, okay, so what are we going to do about this?
Right,
And then go into the solution.
Right. So you will even see, transition slides where after someone laid out, we have challenge 1, 2, or 3. And then the next slide will just say, so what do we do?
Exactly. Okay.
And then that person will go into their conclusion.
所以这个就是所谓的 rhetorical question. 那 rhetorical question 其实你在不同的 context 你都有不同的问题。那这个部分我相信大家可以自己去构想。So, as an example, for example, what are we going to do about this? So what are the solutions to these issues? So these are kind of a rhetorical questions that you can ask and then you answer in your presentation.
Right. And actually, we talk about it's a bit of a Western thing, but if you want to see this done, a master class in rhetorical questions, go to the Taiwanese supermarket when you have the lady who's introducing new products. They do that all the time where they're like, oh, I'm going to sell you this new honey. Now, what's the benefits of honey? And then they'll pull out a data sheet.
I didn't know that.
So, no, I laugh because every time you go to any kind of, or insurance people in Taiwan, they do that all the time.
Oh, okay.
Right? And you'll listen to them where they'll just ask rhetorical questions nonstop and you'll never talk because they're just answering their own questions.
So don't do it too much.
Yeah,
I would say don't do it.
Don't go crazy with it. But again, it's to highlight a key point. It's not the way that you give your presentation. It's just if I want to draw someone's attention, I can usually use a rhetorical question as a good transition from, say, problem to solution.
Right.
Right? Yeah. Now, the last idea we want to share is a little bit more complicated. it's offering something that's a counterintuitive statement. Now, what I mean by counterintuitive is if you set out your idea, your audience may already have a conclusion in their mind. They may already be thinking about how to do something. And then your conclusion becomes the opposite of what they're thinking, as kind of creating a, oh, or a wow moment.
OK, 所以基本上就是给他们跟预期相反的一个 idea.
Right. You're breaking their expectation by doing or saying something that is, again, counterintuitive. It's against what they might think. And a simple way to do this is so similar to a rhetorical question, you might say, so you might think all of this means A, but what we found is B. Right? So let's say, right now with the COVID situation, maybe not all your weekly reports are looking so good, but there's a really interesting piece of data. Like, product ABC, the trend is that it's all sales are going down, but one product is actually going up and there's an opportunity here. So it's like you may think that it's all doom and gloom and there's no way we're going to get out of a sales hole. But we found that product D has 200% growth over last year's numbers. Right? So what we want to do is make a plan about, selling product D. But is that counterintuitive? Like someone thinks, oh, everything's bad, but actually there's something really good.
So I think it allows people to really think about it and create a memory point, I think. So when people walked out of that presentation, they remember that.
Right. So, or it might be something like maybe you're trying to pitch a new idea or new product and you say, the rest of the industry is doing this, so we should do this. Actually, no. What we should do is the total opposite of what they're doing and capture the market that way.
Oh, all right. Okay. 所以我希望大家在今天我们给大家5种不同的方式来给你划重点，帮助你的听众或者你的观众来划重点。And I really hope you guys can start using them in your conversation, discussion, meetings, presentation. And hopefully you can let us know how did it go. And really hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
如果你喜欢我们的 podcast， 欢迎来追踪我们的主管英文 Executive Plus 的 Facebook。那也可以写信到我们的信箱 yourcareerplus@gmail.com。